This is Rogers TV.
Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So the weather has been getting warmer, and I have heard that it's actually going to be a warm, wet spring. So to me, I'm excited about that. I am ready to keep this warm weather going. We have a great show today. Silvina Pica from Mercedes-Benz Durham is on the show, and we're going to be talking about leasing versus financing. We also have Fire Chief Mark Burney in the house, and the Durham Regional Police Services will be talking about their polar plunge, which is coming right up. Make sure you keep watching. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
This is a brain in urgent need of mental health care. But because 3 out of every 4 Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, she may not get the help she needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
All right, Knights of Columbus TV Bingo right here on Rogers TV every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Your chance to win one of our 4 games, and our grand prize game is worth $5,000 right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. With me is Deputy Chief Dean Bertram, and we're here talking about the polar bear plunge. That was tough to get out there. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. Okay, I'm very excited to have you on the show because I had the pleasure of going to last year's polar plunge, and so we're doing it again this year. Tell me, why is this event so important?
Yeah, it's very important to Durham Regional Police and in all fairness to the Ontario Association Chief of Police, where the polar plunge is a fun opportunity to raise money for Special Olympics. That's why we do it. That's why we're obviously here talking about it today. It's our fourth annual this year, and we're looking forward to it. Last year we raised $26,000. We kind of upped our goal this year to $40,000 to obviously challenge everybody to hopefully donate and to raise for the great cause. All the benefits, everything anything that goes to it goes specifically to the Special Olympians, and there's 23,000 in Ontario now. I do want to speak briefly that we actually have Greater Durham Special Olympics, which is very dear to my heart, and I want to make sure that we contribute to our Special Olympians within Durham region. With the programs that are very vital, with the events, that's what the money contributes towards, and then we're able to kind of help our Special Olympians get out there, start participating. They get stronger, they figure out what their skills and their abilities are, their strengths and their successes, and most importantly, what I've seen over my last many years is the opportunity for them to build relationships. That's how everybody builds relationships, is be able to get out there and do these special events. Yeah. So we look forward to that, and through that, it's fun, it's a safe environment, and it's inclusive. Everybody's welcome to do it. So that's why it means so much.
I love it. And so at this polar plunge, anyone can participate in it. So you're going to have athletes participating in it, you have people from the Durham Region Police Services, and anyone from the community can join in.
Anybody. We obviously challenge our fire services, we challenge our paramedics, our emergency service people. We actually have a nice little challenge going on with all of our divisions right now, with our unit leaders challenging one another to get out there.
A little bit of peer pressure,
A little bit of peer pressure.
You're going in. Okay, so let's tell the community what this event looks like, just so if they're thinking about participating, what should they expect?
Yeah, for sure. So I will tell you where the event is going to be. We're lucky that the Oshawa Generals have agreed to host the event for us, and they are at the Tribute Community Center in Oshawa. So that's at Athol and Mary, if people aren't aware exactly where it is. And we have a great partnership with them, so that's where it's going to be. It's going to be on Tuesday, March 19th. Registration is at 10 a.m. and then 11 a.m. the plunges begin, and we actually have the plunge bin, which is right outside the very front door, so you can't miss it. Once again, at Athol and Mary. So that's kind of what it looks like, and that's where it's going to be.
So you're saying a plunge bin. Is it like a garbage bin?
Yes, but a clean garbage bin.
A clean one, because it's lined.
A clean garbage bin that will be lined.
Clean water in there.
Clean water, cold water.
Clean cold water, of course, because it is a polar plunge.
It is a plunge.
Okay, so how does it work? I know I tried it last year, but you jump in and then walk across the bin and hop out on the other side.
Exactly. You take that breath because you realize psychologically that the water is going to be exceptionally cold.
Yes.
So you take that breath while you're in midair.
Okay.
You jump in. Lots of people cheer for you. Lots of people laugh at you probably. And there's lots of photos. And it's just, yeah, it's a wonderful event. It's a great way to raise money for Special Olympics.
I love it. And I think it's pretty cool that the Oshawa Generals, there might be some players there cheering everyone on, being there for the support since it's going to be taking place.
Absolutely, and their mascot Deke is going to be there too. So yeah, it's going to be a wonderful.
He would be cozy to hug after.
He'd be a good person to hug when you get out.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't want that to happen.
Probably not. Okay, so how can people get involved then?
Yeah, the way they can get involved is if you actually go on to polarplunge.ca. And if you take a look at the links, there will be one link that actually says location. You can click on Durham Region. Then you can kind of see all the different companies, people, individuals, or us as Durham Regional Police if you want to donate to me, because I will be plunging. You can go ahead and do that. You can either register on your own, which we love participation, and raise your own money, or you can donate to any specific group that you want to. So that's how it kind of works. And once again, register, donate, or please just show up.
Now, last year they had a bake sale going on too. So is that going to take place this year? Is there an opportunity for people to come and watch and then maybe contribute in a different way?
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to have a bake sale for sure. We also have lots of different Special Olympian items that you can purchase. There's water bottles, there's shirts, there's a whole bunch of other items. And once again, all that money actually goes back to Special Olympics Ontario.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. The only thing I do want to follow up with, if you don't mind, is because of the challenge of us trying to raise $40,000 for our fundraising, we as command, so our Durham Region Police Command team, led by Chief Peter Marrera, myself, and two other deputies, Kirkpatrick and Yandel, and CAO McClellan, we've all decided to jump in. We've never did this before. All of us are jumping in this year, and I'd love to see, once again, people there to either register, donate, or cheer us on. It's going to be wonderful, and so much look forward to it.
Beautiful. Amazing. I think you should wear something spectacular through the jump to really encourage people to come out and watch. We can talk about that later. I have ideas. We'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Hey, we're supposed to be at City Hall.
We're gonna build it right here.
Oh, yeah, sure. And give wetsuits to all the visitors?
No, on the water.
Hey, come on. We're talking about building something the size of 64 city blocks.
And there's no land left in Montreal.
So, get serious.
Listen, we'll build islands.
How? You dig up Montreal?
They're digging a subway, remember? You take it from there, and you put it here.
12 months and 25 million tons of fill later, St. Helens Island was reshaped and Ile Notre Dame was created.
Come on. We don't want to keep Mayor Dropper waiting, do we?
Montreal's Expo 67. It would prove to be the most successful World's Fair of the 20th century.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I have Scugog Fire Chief Mark Burney with us today. Thank you so much for coming, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
So, fire safety is so important, and we really can't talk about this enough because fatalities are happening.
They are.
Right? We need to have those reminders.
They are.
So, you brought a fire alarm with you.
I did.
Tell me why. What are we talking about today?
I'm hoping it's going to chirp for us any second now.
Hey!
Like it just did.
You are powerful stuff.
So what is that smoke alarm saying to us?
It's saying my batteries need to be changed.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Smoke alarms will communicate with you. They'll tell you either their battery needs to be changed or they themselves need to be changed with a newer model. So when you hear that chirp, it's not about calling 911 because your smoke alarm's going off. It's about talking back to your smoke alarm and saying, you know something, I'm going to remove you from the ceiling. I'm going to open up your battery compartment and I'm going to replace it with a new one. And when I'm done replacing it, if I could find the new one.
Oh, is it right there?
It's right there.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Ta-da.
I'm going to replace it and then I'm going to test the smoke alarm to ensure that it works properly and it protects me, my family, you and your family from fire.
Woo.
That smoke alarm is ready to go.
Okay, beautiful. And this is perfect timing that we're talking about this because we just had the time change.
We did.
So
we did.
That is a great reminder. Anytime you're putting your clocks forward or putting your clocks back,
Check your smoke alarm.
check your smoke alarm.
Exactly.
Now, I understand some of the batteries these days, or the majority of the batteries these days, have a 10-year lifespan.
Yes, manufacturers are putting 10-year hassle-free batteries in the smoke alarms, so you and I don't have to change the batteries. When that smoke alarm has expired because of age, so has the battery.
Okay, so after 10 years, you should be changing your whole smoke alarm.
Exactly.
Now, what about if they're hardwired? Should you be changing those ones after every 10 years?
Yes, you should.
Okay.
And you can buy a hardwired replacement smoke alarm in your local hardware store, and they are literally plug and play, just like you were to plug something into an electrical outlet.
I'm so glad you said that because I was wondering if you needed an electrician in order to. Okay.
You don't. You can plug and play and change that smoke alarm all by yourself.
Okay, that's so good.
Yes.
Now we're also talking about a fire reduction or a risk reduction safety plan.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
So the provincial government recently asked all municipalities to do a risk assessment. So look at the risks in your community and then do a risk reduction plan. And it's all about fire safety.
Right.
We can take those same principles home. You can take it to your home, I can take it to my home or my business and look at my risks and then create a risk reduction plan that makes not only my home, but perhaps my workplace safer for me, my employees, my family, and it's a win-win for everybody. Risk assessment and then a risk reduction plan.
Okay, so when we're talking about risk assessment, we should be even looking on our property. Do we have ponds? Do we have streams?
Yes.
Do we have a fireplace? Do we have fire pits? Do we have trees overhanging?
Yes, yes. Keep going. You're
okay,
you're
I'm
on a roll. You're
Wow,
on a
I'm
roll.
gonna nail my plan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Here's another example for you. I'm sure we've all seen hydro out trimming our beautiful trees in front of our property and trimming them back from the hydro lines. What they're doing is they're executing their risk reduction plan so that should that tree perhaps fall because of a storm or what have you, it doesn't impact your electrical or your street electricity coming into your home. That's a great example of a risk reduction plan. We can do the same thing at home. where are we storing combustibles? Are we storing them in our furnace room? I hope not. The risk reduction plan says let's move those combustibles from our furnace area or our electrical panel area. How are we storing flammables in our home? We should be storing them such that, should our home catch fire, they don't add to the fire.
Okay.
Risk reduction planning.
Risk reduction planning. Okay, so when you were talking about combustibles and how to dispose of them or store them, that also made me think about, we were talking about this before the show, about we're coming into wildfire season.
We are.
Right?
We are.
And we should be coming up with our own plan about how we can help prevent wildfires.
Yeah, 100%. We're primarily rural communities up here in North Durham, and how we store combustibles outside, up against our home, up against our outbuildings, can all contribute to the advancement of wildfires should they happen. As well as, how are we burning? Hopefully we're burning under permit, and that permit gives you all the conditions to which you should be burning to or applying when you are burning. And the biggest one is you never leave a fire by itself. You never leave it alone. When you're done burning whatever you're burning, whether it be a recreational burn or otherwise, it is extinguished fully, and extinguished using water. So you're saturating it, and you're not allowing it to rekindle and contribute to perhaps a wildland fire.
Okay, we could talk about this for a long time. That's why we are going to have you back.
Thank you.
You so much for being on the show.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So I have Silvina Pica, who is a sales consultant for Mercedes-Benz Durham. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So this question, I have often had this question, so I was really excited to get you on the show. How do you make the decision between leasing and buying?
It's a good question, and it actually comes up a lot more than you think.
Okay, I'm sure there's many factors that you need to take into place.
And also, some people haven't considered leasing perhaps in the past, or they've said, you know what, I've got to own this car, I'm going to finance it, or I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
But the switch has really changed quite a bit. A lot more clients are leasing. A lot more clients are putting cars in company names too. So that's a main factor when deciding to lease or finance, because accountants generally will actually push a client who has a company to lease a vehicle. Tax purposes, tax write-offs, benefits for the company, certain things like that.
Okay.
Now on an individual scale, leasing has its benefits where you're in a car every couple of years. You're returning a vehicle before the warranty expires. Generally, leases are like 3 or 4 years.
Right. I love that aspect.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to worry. You're just doing your regular maintenance.
That's it.
That is it. So it's really peace of mind.
Yeah. And for us, we have prepaid packages for services. So, in the course of the lease, all you're worrying about is making your monthly payment. You're making your lease payments, your services are covered. At the end of 3-4 years, you're returning the car and getting into something new.
Nice.
Generally keeping your payment close to what you're paying if you'd like, or switching models. But the great thing is that you're always getting into something that's new technology, new models, new designs. It's got its benefits. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some other things that we should consider? So if you're going to be leasing, it will most likely be a higher monthly payment than no, not necessarily. I like the eyebrows that are going up.
Yeah.
Okay.
People's assumption is usually that a lease is higher, and it's not. It's actually cheaper or less expensive. You're only paying for a portion of the car. When you lease a vehicle, you've got what's called a residual. So it's a buyback amount. In normal cases, in some cases in the higher end brands, Mercedes-Benz, we have higher residuals because the value of our vehicles are higher when they get turned back in. The residual ends up being, let's say, 50%. So you're only paying for 50% of the car when you're leasing the vehicle, because that residual is what the buyback is at the end of the term.
Okay.
Now, great things about leases, closed-end leases in particular is what we do. You have a choice. If you love that car, you can buy it. You pay the residual plus tax, because that's what you haven't paid. Your monthly payments are only based on that 50% plus your taxes, and that's it. If you want to switch cars, then you walk away and you get into something else. You're not married to that vehicle, whereas on a finance, you're financially responsible for essentially a depreciating asset, right?
So I guess another factor would be what's your mileage? How many kilometers are you putting on your vehicle every year, right?
Yeah, and that's also another question that comes up. So, the norm is 12, 18, 24,000 is usually, your steps in mileage allowance on a lease. 24,000 generally tends to be the norm. I think the average person will drive anywhere between 20 and 25,000 kilometers per year. Now, we allow for prepaid mileage. So you can actually estimate what you think you're going to do and pay for those extra kilometers at a cheaper rate than if you returned the vehicle at the end of the lease and paid a penalty.
Okay.
And
so
for us, for Mercedes-Benz, the great thing is that when you are prepaying that extra mileage, if you don't use it, when you return the car, you are actually refunded.
Wow.
So it's a win-win situation because you don't have that anxiety that you're going to go over your mileage. You're already preparing yourself, and if you don't end up using that extra kilometer or two, then you get the money back.
That is amazing. I had no idea that was even a possibility. But that is unique to Mercedes and maybe to limited dealerships.
I'm really not sure who else offers that. I'm proud to say that we do. But you know what? And also the benefit between leasing and financing and where you asked about monthly payments generally being lower is interest rates are many times lower on a lease payment than they are on finance, especially with the rates the way that they are today. Bank rates are quite high. So depending on the brand, us again, Mercedes-Benz will offer incentivized rates on leases, lower rates in comparison to bank rates, some cases almost half the interest rate of what a finance rate would be, because we want people to, regenerate their business and come back to us and get another vehicle.
Beautiful. Who knew? Mercedes-Benz might be a lot more affordable than you thought. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
When I think about Mercedes, I think of quality and I think of luxury.
Yeah.
So have you go on the show to be able to talk about that was really exciting for me.
It's also history. We love to brag about being the oldest automotive manufacturer in the world, literally. So we're hitting 135 years. So we've got a good history to back us up.
Very cool. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Hi there, I'm Eric Marchand, host of Cinema Scene in Review. Join me each month as I recap all of the newest films in theaters and at home. See you in review.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So at the end of the show, I like to pull a card. And this card is to offer inspiration, maybe some things to think about that has to do with the energy of the week. So this week I pulled a card from my Akashic Tarot deck. Here it is. The message on the card says reflection. So you can see there's a sailboat. Someone is holding a lantern in the sailboat. This is at night. We have the beautiful moon energy. So this is a time, when I think about moon energy, I think about the feminine energy, which is the time for gentleness, the time being open to receive. And with this boat being on calm water at night, it is important for us to self-reflect when we are in the dark. And what I mean by that is we can take that in a couple of different ways. We could take it in dream state, taking in your dreams and getting the messages from them and seeing how maybe your fears are coming up, maybe some patterns have been coming up. Dreams can really help you to sort through emotions while you're sleeping. But also, during your regular daytime, we can have these different waves of emotions that can come up with different experiences that you're having in various areas of your life. And we could also call that being within your own personal muck. It's that shadow side that can come up. And it's important for us to delve into that shadow side, not push it down and ignore it. I'm fine and just keep plowing forward. It's just as important to look at it, to embrace what you're feeling, because it can help to create the light. When you're within the contrast, when you're within the muck, it can create clarity as to what you really want, what you want and in different areas of your life and how you want to move forward. It can give you inspiration, where we're seeing that lantern and you're seeing even different light in the card going on within the distance. So it can give you that glimmer of hope or inspiration of maybe how you want to move forward, what you want to experience. When you have that clarity, then you can start manifesting what you're experiencing, because then you can focus on that. So yes, it's important for you to look at the muck, at you within your muck, but you don't want to keep the focus on that muck. Then it's time to move forward and focus on what you want to create. So that's it for this week. Make sure you watch next week. We always have great guests on the show. Thank you so much for watching Uxbridge Scugog Life. Bye.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Leonard Thompson, 13 years old, diabetes mellitus, 65 pounds.
Starve the child to let them live. The treatment's as cruel as the disease. It's a death sentence.
Dr. Banting, this could be it. He's the first to receive this trial. But will it save him?
It's not pure enough.
So we try again.
and again.